Is a case that was all based on lies from the start, but seemed like a great idea had it been legit. Investors bought in, patients bought in, Arizona's own governor bought in. Now Elizabeth Holmes will stay behind bars, and one Arizona man has a unique story from patient to attorney of the Theranos scandal.
We didn't have the right leadership.
Once the young billionaire genius, seemingly changing the healthcare game with her company, Theranos, Elizabeth Holmes became one of the most infamous fraudsters when it all came crashing down.
Red flag after red flag after red flag started coming up, and we eventually sued them.
Now, trying to convince an appeals court her conviction was improper due to who they did and didn't let testify, the court isn't buying it, upholding her conviction and 11-year sentence for fraud. During her reign, Holmes visited Arizona in 2014 and built multiple labs and 40 Theranos wellness locations at Walgreens across the valley. That's when Phoenix attorney Leonard Aragon first encountered Theranos as a regular patient.
You actually got your blood tested at a Theranos location.
I did.
And what was that experience like?
You can't record what's going on in the room or even what the room looked like, which I thought was very odd from an attorney's perspective.
He described the experience as secretive and bizarre, but beyond that, he also noticed empty promises.
The whole advertisement was kind of a drop of blood. This very minimal amount of blood could tell you a lot. And is that what happened?
Yeah, no, that never happened. In fact, there were no pinpricks. It was just a regular blood draw that you would get at your doctor's office or at some sort of clinic.
It was then that Aragon became involved with Theranos in a whole different way.
Within days or weeks of this occurring, me going to Theranos, we were approached by someone to investigate a case against Theranos.
As the case unfolded, Aragon represented Theranos victims as part of a class action lawsuit, learning that a majority of their tests were fraudulent.
Once I started investigating Theranos, it became very clear to me that something was wrong. And I mean clear from the get-go.
All of the Arizona locations closed in 2016, and Theranos went under. Elizabeth Holmes and her partner, Sunny Balwani, both convicted for defrauding millions from investors. The appeals court's decision this week ensuring Elizabeth Holmes' trial was not only fair, but completely legal.
There were no problems here. She deserves to be in jail, and I'm glad she is.
Holmes began her 11-year sentence almost 2 years ago. As of now, her listed release date from federal prison is in March of 2032. Guys.
I think it's still so shocking to believe that people fell for this, even high-level state officials.
She had everybody fooled. I mean, she went to Stanford, then she dropped out, and she kind of convinced everybody she had this resume that was so impressive. But I honestly think she might have believed her own lie after a while, and it just kept tumbling down. But, you know, in talking to Aragon today, he said, had this been real, this was a good idea. This was something that a state would want to invest in, right? He doesn't blame Governor Ducey for his involvement in wanting to bring kind of innovative healthcare here. But unfortunately, what happened was a scandal that nobody saw coming until it was already too late.
I think the Attorney General's office said 1.5 million of those kits were sold in Arizona alone. So that's a lot of people who bought into that lie back in the day.
And that settlement is over $4 million to Arizonans who were part of this.
So. What a mess.
Crazy.
Thank you, Brianna.
Yeah.